Hello, I'm Kelsey from Essentially Book. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. I am going to talk about fall reading and the books I'm hoping to read this fall. I'm not really gonna make necessarily a strict TBR, but I have pulled all the books that to me scream like October spooky season reading. And spooky season for me is witches. It is like horror, murder, mysteries, and like dark academia. So those are kind of my go-tos in October. Some fantasy, but that kind of goes into the witch category. So I have a huge stack of books that I've pulled from my shelves, like quite a bit. And then my Kindle, and then on my phone, which I'm filming on, so I can't even tell you. But I know on my phone, I've got a couple audiobooks I want to listen to. So I'm gonna go through just all the books. I'm not gonna make a strict TBR. There's a couple of readathons and like challenges I'll participate in that might dictate like what I read, but it's kind of fun. I'm just gonna mood read through this season. And for me, it kind of starts now in September and goes through about November, like Thanksgiving time, before I start reading like holiday reads. I'm just gonna start going through books and we'll see how long this video ends up being. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with the books that are on my Kindle, and you might hear like nature sounds out here. I had to open the window because I'm really warm. Yeah, I'm gonna start with things on my Kindle that I need to read or I would like to read that are gonna be on my spooky season TBR. So the first one is Catherine House, which I don't know much about it other than it's dark academia and I think there's some magic in it. I know that Books and Lala really liked it, which I think is what moved it up my list. But I know it's kind of gotten some like contentious ratings. So that's on my list. Other one I have is Jonathan Strange and Dr. Norrell. I will probably not read it this year. It is like monstrously huge. I have it on my Kindle, so I don't have like a good visual of it. It's just, again, a school magic. I think it's like historical. So like a historical fantasy, which would be totally up my like interests. And then the other one I have on here is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. I loved 10,000 Doors of January, and then her novellas I've really enjoyed. So those are the three books on my Kindle right now that I would like to read. On my phone through Libro FM, I would like to read, I think it's like Big Witch, Small Town, Big Magic, Small Town. Once I figure that, I'll put it over here and you can see it. And I kind of have had that. It was blurbed as like Gilmore Girls, but magical. Put it in my veins. And then speaking of Gilmore Girls, which this isn't actually Gilmore Girls, but my shirt reminds me of it. So I have a Halloween Town sweatshirt, little like square, which is where it was making me think of Gilmore Girls. And then also the Aaron Sterling's newest book. It's not The X Effect. Again, I'm filming on my phone, so I can't pull it up right now, but I want to read the newest Aaron Sterling, which I'm putting right here. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just kind of like going with the flow today. Like my kid's napping and I just figured I'd get some filming done. So we shall see. I guess I am going to have some books that I do really want to read. Like these are the priorities, I think, during the season that I would like to read from now through November. I have been talking about this a little bit, but the Saga series, this is volume 3. I have 4, 5, and 6 checked out from the library too. This is like a graphic novel my friend recommended to me and I'm obsessed. It's like kind of Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of Star Wars-y, but not like, I don't know, I'm just digging it. It's beautiful, like really pretty and very graphic. It's like definitely rated R. I've flown through the first 3 in the past month and am excited to keep reading. So I know I'll keep reading those because they're quick. Like I can read them in a night if I really wanted to. And then the book that's been getting a ton of buzz everywhere is The Dead Romantics. A friend of mine gave this to me at dinner last night. It's the ARC. She works at a bookstore, so she gets access to a lot of things and it's kind of fun. I'm not really gonna talk about it because I want to read it and it's everywhere, so if you haven't seen it. And then I would like to read all of the Practical Magic books. I've read Practical Magic, The Rules of Magic, yeah. So I read Practical Magic and The Rules of Magic. I haven't read Magic Lessons and then The Book of Magic. So I would like to read this. I really like the Practical Magic like vibe. And so that's kind of my plan. As far as just, I want to complete that like series. I haven't read anything else by Alice Hoffman, but she has a very extensive backlist. I am going to read, this is more of a spooky vibe, but The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. All I know is it's gothic vibes, like gothic Rebecca, but in Mexico. I love Rebecca. I love anything gothic. And I've heard this also kind of has Mexican gothic vibes too. So, and then a book that I am embarrassed I haven't read yet, but I'm fairly confident will be one of my favorites. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I started this and had to return to the library, and so I haven't picked it up since, but I did really like where I got, and I have a feeling I will like super love this one. Then this is for the Literally Dead book club, but it's You Are Invited by, I'm probably gonna butcher this last name, but Amanda Jayatisa, and it's about a wedding. The girl's best friend is marrying her ex, somebody dies, and the girl becomes the suspect. So that's kind of my stack of books that I absolutely want to read. Okay, now we're gonna get to like proposed TBR, like other books. Read as time allows if I get to them. The very first one is The Midnight Bargain. This was a book club pick of mine from either earlier this year or late last year, and it's by C.L. Polk. I've never read anything by her fiction. I started it and then just had to put it down. It's basically about a girl who's a sorceress, and in this society, once you get your marital collar, you don't have magic. So it protects children. So this girl is a sorceress in secret. It just sounds really interesting. I just haven't gotten into it. Paula Braxton has written a ton of witch books. So this is, again, my witchy pile. If I've said that, this is my witchy pile. So The Witch's Daughter, I've had this on my shelf forever. I just pulled it. Kind of has like Salem witchcraft vibes. But anyways, this is The Witch's Daughter, Salem witch vibes, like trials. In the spring of 1628, the witchfinder of Wessex finds himself a true witch. As Bess Hawksmith watches her mother swing from the hanging tree, she knows the only man who can save her from the same fate, the warlock Gideon Masters. So, don't know much about that. This is an old book of the month I've had forever. It's called The Philosopher's Flight, and it says half science, half magic, entirely fantastic. I just think the cover is really fun. I know it's about a magical school, and it's magic that's dominated by women. So the main character, I believe, is a man and who has magical powers, but in a world dominated by women. So sounds really feminist, sounds really cool. It is written by a man though, so who knows if it's feminist. The Lighthouse Witches, I just know it's a horror book and it sounds really good. And it was recommended on the indie press list. So this is one that I think this is more of a priority read for me for the fall if I get to it. Another witchy one is Payback's a Witch. I think this is sapphic. It's a witch who's back and ready for revenge with a little help from her friends. And just look at the cover and how cute it is. Definitely want to read this. It's an arc I got from my friend. Oh, I freaking love the series. So For the Throne is the sequel to For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. That was kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This is the sequel. It follows the sister, and they're in the Shadowlands, which is an inverted kingdom where the vicious gods of legend have been trapped for centuries and the five kings have slowly been gaining control. I live right by an airport, so if you hear a plane, that's why. But this book is like, the first series was so good. It's creepy, like the forest is out to get you and it's like going after people, and I just was totally sucked into the story. It kind of had like that dark witchy fairy tale retelling vibe, but was done really well. So this is one that I'm very, very, very excited about. My book of the month pick this month, say that 5 times fast, is this newest Sarah Addison Allen, Other Birds. I loved Garden Spells. If you like practical magic and haven't read Garden Spells, what are you doing? But she's just really good at like weaving magic into everyday life. Kind of gives you like Rory Gilmore Girls vibes. I just really like her writing. It's very like whimsical, but magic realism. And if you like practical magic, pick up Garden Spells. And then this is kind of giving me like the same vibe. So very excited about that. Okay, the last stack is just stuff I pulled that's like thriller, mystery, horror, and will be kind of like if I want to grab books from anything, maybe this will all come to this stack. The first one is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, and she's like the pen name of Shannon McGuire, who does like the Wayfaring Children series. I read the first one. I want to read that whole series too. That's a 2023 thing. Mermaids, horror mermaids. That's all I know about this book, but in currently reading, they talk about it all the time. And I think there might be like multiple in the series. It's by Orbit Books, who like always puts out great work. So Into the Drowning Deep is definitely, I don't really ever want to go on a cruise or anything. So not really something that will scare me or deter me from getting on a cruise, because I'll never do it. So Mermaids, I think it's on a cruise ship. And then I picked this one up because I think Books and Lala, again, was raving about this author. So it's The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I've just heard really great things about it. I think it might be a zombie book, but I don't know for sure. I got this as an ARC, or as from the publisher. It's The Death at Greenway, and it's about nurses during World War II who come to Agatha Christie's holiday estate to care for evacuated children, but when a body is discovered nearby, the idyllic setting becomes host to a deadly mystery. So it's Death at Greenway by Lori Rader Day, and it just sounds really interesting. I have not read anything by Stephen Graham Jones, so I grabbed The Only Good Indians. I've heard like nothing but good things about this, and I wanted a thriller horror book that I know is crafted well. Sorry, you can hear my dogs. And so this will be one that I think I'll read closer to Halloween, because I do think like I just start craving horror the closer we get to Halloween. So that will be that. A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I've read her Uprooted book and I loved it. This has been on my radar. Dark Academia again, and it's a series. It's not very long. So this will probably be more of a November read, to be honest. And then for some thrillers, I've never read Mary Kubica before, so I have Local Woman Missing. I got this from the publisher and just haven't gotten to it. So I would like to get to that. Peter Swanson, Every Vow You Break. I started 8 Perfect Murders and put it down because I wanted to read The Secret History before I read that in case it was important to the book. It wasn't. Hated that book. The Secret History, not 8 Perfect Murders, because I haven't read that. Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson, just a new one that I've gotten. And then He Said, She Said is like a thriller dealing with like a solstice and scientist, and I've heard it's really unputdownable once you start. I just think the cover is really cool. Then I grabbed these 3, one by one by Ruth Ware. Like Ruth Ware, Enough Said. And then this I got from Fabled from their subscription. It's What Happened to the Bennets. And it is, your family has been attacked, never again to be the same, but you have to choose between law and justice. So I've heard Lisa Scottolene is a very like propelling and easy to read thriller author. And I'm really excited about this. I do really like Elizabeth Barnhill, who is a bookseller at Fabled, I think, or a book buyer. She is just really good at recommending thrillers and murders and mystery. I trust her. I think this will be really good. I just know very little about it. And then the final book from this huge stack, a book I know literally nothing about, is The Girl in the Mirror by Rose Carlyle. It's about twin sisters, identical on the outside, dangerously different on the inside. It's blurred by AJ Finn, Liz Constantine, Amy Molloy. Yeah. So on hold at the library, I've got Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House, Just Like Home by Sarah Daly. But yeah, so that is my big stack of books for fall. I'm getting very hot, so I'm gonna stop filming for now, but I just wanted to get the initial one going. The stack of books I must read, and then we'll just see where the mood takes me. So if you made it all the way through this video, please leave a pumpkin in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a lovely day.